Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming at you with Married at First Sight, Denver, season 17, episode 20. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're returning, thank you so much for rocking with us. Let's get into this episode, which was Decision Day Part 1. So we'll start off with Brendan and Emily. When Brennan and Emily are getting ready for the decision day, Emily says that she plans to get out everything that she wants to say. All while Brennan is saying basically the opposite. It's just cordial and surface. And the experts also say that they hope that these two learn civility and how to move on and be better people. Since they've seen kind of how shut down Brennan can be, especially, and how he's not so great at communicating, but let's see how it goes at the reunion because I think these two gonna be at each other's throats. But overall, Brennan says that Emily has a bunch of good qualities like being nice and energetic. Their communication issues have been a huge problem for him. And Emily says that Brennan has ran away basically to her and given up on the marriage. And Dr. P also backs her up. And when he's asking, what didn't I do? How have I given up? And Dr. P was like, actually, you didn't do my homework assignment when she told them, to like touch on each other as comfortable as they can. And instead, he was like, nah, let's just hug. So there are lots of ways he did not, do everything he could do. And he maintains that he had been trying to basically protect Emily from basically negative feedback from him. But he saying now that if he knew what the outcome would be, he wouldn't protect her at all and just tell her everything whenever he felt like it. Then Pastor Cal says that he sees complete BS from Brennan. And Dr. Pia says that she also wants to give Brennan a chance to take accountability for once. And then the two get into an argument about who was more negative on FaceTime and who threatened who started with who. And to be honest, from what I saw, Emily was negative with Brennan on Cameron on the phone as soon as she found out the double date plot, with Cameron and Brennan from Claire. But we also saw that excuse me, Brennan was like not that great to her, and I do believe that he probably threatened her a little bit about, spilling some tea or doing not the most positive things in response on the phone because he even threw saving her life in her face. He's like, you dare talk to the man who saved your life when he literally didn't do that much except stand next to her and maybe like hold some cloth over her wound a little bit, but paramedics are the ones that save her. But then, the experts see that they're not going anywhere and they basically say, hey, we're not going to force y'all to be together. So let's wrap this thing up. And the both of them ask for divorce. And then Pastor Carl tries to end things positively by explaining how Emily and Brennan have grown individually and have both learned different lessons from the marriage before they all wish the two of them the best. It's so boring. Claire and Cameron was next, and the experts say that the couple decided to separate because of toxicity, but then Cam had the health problem on top of that, where he really had to separate himself from everybody. So it's hard to know where his head is at, or if the couple even exhausted all their options. And you see Claire saying Cam had lots of good qualities, but he was lacking giving her the desire to be wanted. And she claims that he didn't open up emotionally and pushed her away. Cameron says that Claire has good qualities, but they don't have a baseline connection to fall back on when things get rough. And she hears what she wants to hear, which I have observed and totally believe. Cameron shows up also saying that his dosage of medication went up and he on like beta blockers and blood thinners and all this stuff. So he likely to fall any second now. So the experts are like, please be careful and let us know if you need to rest or whatever. So then when Clara shows up, they hug. He's very nice, she's very nice, but then when they start getting to the nitty gritty of their relationship about things like when Claire was telling people that Cameron didn't want her because you want a slender person, and Cameron said, "No, I think you're slender. You were my type, and I did want you." Claire admitted that she actually had struggled with body dysmorphia, so when Karen made the slender comment, she didn't take it well, and even when he tried to explain to her that he sees her as slender and his type, she didn't receive it. So again, it was a case a lot of the times of Claire hearing what she wanted to. Then Claire and him dance around how long they spent together versus apart, because Claire was trying to argue that she spent more time alone and by herself, and then Karen's like, we lived together for 4 weeks, and then obviously when I moved out, I got sick, so it wasn't anything to sneeze at, surviving them 4 weeks together. But then Claire apologizes basically for hurting him and not being aware of who she is, because she's a therapist, but it's hard for her to understand her own feelings a lot. And he also apologized for being defensive about rejection and messing up the process with things like the timing of him asking about if they should separate or not and moving out, and kind of giving her the ultimatum of like, either say that you care or I'm out. So then he says he lost all attraction to her for now and sees her as a sister. So when asked if he, rather stay together or divorce, he says he would prefer a divorce since he does see her as a sister. And she also wants a divorce. So that's them two decision day, even though they've been made a decision. And Austin and Becca, even though they started off the episode, I saved them for last because they have all the juiciness, and Becca's the one who stirs everything up with Austin, even with the other ladies and their men too. So Austin and Becca start off the episode getting ready for decision day. And you see she wears like a pink fur coat over her dress, which is like part of her style because she has her pink hair. But also all the other ladies on After Party wear pink. Well, all of them except Chloe, I believe. So I wonder what's the deeper meaning behind it besides, just being a red color. If there's like some kind of girl solidarity thing going on. But the experts talk about Becca and Austin. They say that, they think they have feelings for one another in spite of needing, to fight for the marriage these days. Since Becca's disillusioned by Austin's two-faced behavior and attitude, and their differing paces when it comes to intimacy. Austin then reminds us of Becca's struggle with his religious beliefs on top of their intimacy issues, and he also says that Becca needs to work on trust since she's doubting him and it's discouraging him. Becca says she might not have been ready for this process since she's not centered enough to be able to tell if Austin's being sincere or not. And the experts ask Becca to tell her anxiety, basically to be quiet, since she says, she's very anxious about everything. And they tell her to trust that her feelings are real and explore the relationship off camera together to answer once and for all whether Austin's, faking for the camera. It's something that they need to explore outside the process. So then Becca says that she's saying no on this decision day to what the marriage was, but she's saying yes to what it could be. And Austin also says yes. So we shall see if these two can rebuild again. Or try again off camera, but that's probably a wash. The night before, this is like where a lot more drama happens. Night before the next cast meetup, Austin goes out with Brennan without Becca. And apparently Claire and Emily had went out together before catching Austin with some lady producer that Becca does not like Austin hanging out with. So the girls told Becca, and Becca prepared herself to grill Austin in front of everybody else at the kickback that's scheduled the next day. So when the kickback goes off, Becca's sitting there when Austin shows up because they arrived separately. Becca asked Austin if he went out and who he was with, and when he started omitting facts, she outright asked him about being with the producer girl. And she felt like he was not only lying, but not prioritizing her since, she told him they were struggling and she gonna give him a second chance. But instead of spending the quality time with her, he was out and about gallivanting with a lady producer, sorry, in spite of his promises to recommit and prove himself to her in front of the experts. So she basically says she's done with Austin's lies and she lost whatever hope she had because of his lies about that producer and whatnot. Then the argument between Becca and Austin erupted into battle between basically all the men except Michael versus all the women except Chloe, about them all seeing the men as liars who were silencing them, acting like they were protecting the women, but ultimately were being fake. So then Cameron takes extra offense to all this bickering since he felt like Claire exacerbated the problems between Emily and Brennan. And because she also spread the double date story, wrong, Claire and Cameron are kind of beefing, and Cam makes it her business, makes it her business to know that, like, it was his idea, and it was a lighthearted statement that somehow got twisted in Claire's translation and reporting of it. And he's like, well, whether it's you mishearing me or you, retelling it wrong, some got lost in translation, but it's a pattern with her. And she often sees things differently than he does. And she also begs him a lot of the time, not to say things that, they do and say behind closed doors. So then, let's see. I don't know. I don't know about the silencing thing, but when what's her face, Claire and Cameron talk, Cameron cannot take it anymore. He's like tired of her nonsense. But Orion and Lauren were also there. They were pretty quiet, and again, Michael and Claire were out of it, and they were quiet. And what he does is he just separates himself because, remember, his heart is bad, so he can't really take all the fighting. And he makes some analogy about how, like, if this was like public court thing, what he done is equivalent to him stealing a candy bar, but what Claire done is equivalent to murder. So she's clearly the biggest offender, and not only ruining her own relationship, but Brennan and Emily's relationship too, in terms of Brennan. Then Michael makes some speech about Chloe being a better person than him. And Becca then officially declares that she doesn't think she's the person for Austin now, that she has proof that he lies. And she's going to try to trust her intuition more and move on. So, again, the girls are tired of the men are tired of these ladies. And we shall see, what the next couple of episodes and the reunion brings. But in terms of next episode, the previews make it look like Orion is trying to worm his way into Lauren's life. And you'll see Cameron roasting Claire on the phone to Michael since his heart is bad, so he can't go, fully off in person. So he's like sitting down tamely on the phone trying to go off, which was interesting to watch. And then Michael and Chloe apparently start having relations. So I don't know. I feel like this season should be over. Like, I'm falling asleep just thinking about it, but I definitely like, some of the people in it. Like, I still think Michael's great, but I also just wonder what you guys think about the episode. Please put it in the comments. And also your predictions, for like either the reunion or just whatever's on your mind. Make sure you say how you feel. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. And always remember that you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye bye.